So we're currently in Sydney right now, about to meet up with the boys, Luke and Troy. And we're here for a seminar called Breaking into Bitcoin, which starts our journey to learning about cryptocurrency.
Hey man. How are you, man? How are you? Good? Going good?
That was like opposite.
Yeah, I know.
So the boys are here, Troy, Luke,
What's happening, man?
and we're going to learn how to invest in cryptocurrency.
I'm like the ultimate bogan. Like Luke, you know what the fuck we're doing. Yeah.
So we pumped for the weekend, boys?
Yeah.
Little bit bleary eyed.
A few moments later.
Look how fucking fresh they are. Yeah. Ew.
What does it say?
It's time to reprogram.
I don't have time to work.com.
You know what's up. Good morning, Sydney! You ready for this? Yeah? I'm ready for this. Just do it! So we're out here at the Sheraton on the park, just about to walk into the Bitcoin seminar. I'm very interested to see what kind of people turn out, what we learn. Imagine if there's like 3 people here.
I think there's going to be more than that.
But don't film me though.
Yeah.
Gotta get that fresh aqua.
H2O.
H2O. What a quality H2O. Yo, we're about to head into the seminar, about to hear some stuff from Roscoe. Really pumped to share what we learned. So, let's get it.
A few moments later.
Yo, so we just finished the first section of breaking into Bitcoin with Roscoe. Heavy stuff, crazy stuff. So excited to share this stuff with you guys. So we're currently having a break at the moment, waiting for the second half of the first day to conclude. What are you thinking so far, man?
I think I need more coffee.
Yeah.
I need a swimming
Tell you
pool
what.
and some coffee. There's a lot of information being thrown at us and it's pretty good. What are you thinking? How are you feeling?
It's good, man.
Yeah.
A lot of words can't really describe what's going to go down with this cryptocurrency. There's so much that's going to happen. It's going to change this world, whether for the better or worse. You don't know, but we have the ability to change the world for the better, which is what we want to do. Hope that you guys also want to do the same. So we'll check in after. We'll have a sick interview very soon with the dude himself, Roscoe, and it's crazy, man. It's so good.
I don't really want to do it to my brain, but I know, yeah.
We're here with Roscoe Patterson. First interview for you guys. Just sat through the first day of the seminar, breaking into Bitcoin, and we're just asking him a few questions, kind of get a raw detail of what cryptocurrency is, what Bitcoin is, in a simplest form, so you can understand it to the best, I guess. So,
Sure.
Thanks for being the first. It's my kind of first interview.
I didn't know this was a cherry popping interview, but
How good's this? How good's this? We're all learning, you know. It's all good.
this is epic.
Yeah, it's so good. It's so good. If this gets like 1 million views, man, let's use the AdSense to invest in crypto. Let's do something like that.
That's a good idea. That's
Yeah,
innovative.
100%. So, in the simplest form, man, how can you explain what crypto is to someone that hasn't literally, they've heard of, say, Bitcoin or whatever like that? But
Yeah. Well, I think the first things that people hear is things like digital cash or digital gold or even magical internet money, whatever. Like
Yeah.
it's kind of explained to them as, but it's kind of almost none of those things. Like it's not really cash, it's not gold, it's not a coin, it's not like any of those things. What it is it's just like a ledger, and it's just assets allocated to someone on a ledger. So and you don't even own the asset, you just control it. So you have it on a ledger saying like you've got 1 Bitcoin, and then you have the control over it. You can move it to someone else, but you don't own the ledger, you don't own the coin, but you've got control over it, so you can move it around. It's kind of like there's specific types of trusts and businesses that you can do that with, but it's a ledger. So in its simplest form, it's 2 columns where you move one thing to the other side of the column, and then that person controls it, so they can move it across the column if they want.
Yeah. So it's kind of something that can take the power back to the people, would you say? Like,
For sure. I mean, Bitcoin's just the first thing on this ledger, which is kind of known as the blockchain, where you can move the asset called Bitcoin from one side of the ledger to the other. Now we're seeing so many different types of innovation. Like you could, that thing on the transaction on the ledger could just be a vote, or it could be medical insurance information. It could be a medical record. It could be a contract of sale for a house. It could be any sort of thing that we had middleman organizations where there was a trusted document required in the middle. That's essentially what the blockchain is capable of playing with.
So you're saying blockchain, not just especially for cryptocurrency, it can be for anything.
Absolutely, pretty much. Like, I mean, if there's some sort of a middleman in a transaction, if there's some sort of a document in a transaction that needs to add up mathematically and be true and correct, then that industry can be turned inside out with the blockchain.
Yeah.
For sure.
That's crazy, man. That's crazy. Some futuristic shit.
Oh, there is some futuristic shit. Like, I mean, we live in a world that right now, you'll be able to pull out your phone in 2 to 3 years' time and send your car to work, and your car will go make you money and then come pick you up from work on the way home. Like, that's the world we live in today. Like, autonomous driving vehicles are here. We've got VR, we've got AI, we've got robotics. We've got all these waves of future coming, and the blockchain is just as big as any of those ones.
Yeah, that's freaking nuts, eh?
Yeah, it's super wild.
With cryptocurrency, what has it allowed you to do in your life?
I mean, for me, it's the largest thing that it's done for me and anyone I know is to give them probably the largest opportunity they've ever had to rethink the way things are done. Like, I mean, I could talk about all sorts of, like, I mean, not even stories about myself, like other people, of all these success stories of people just turning $500 into over $1 million, of people turning, 250 grand into over 33 mil in less than 9 months, of people like building ICO hedge funds, all these sorts of crazy businesses. I could tell you that shit, but that's actually not what fucking matters.
Yeah.
Sorry if we're bleeping.
Hey,
No, fuck yeah.
Cool, man. That's what
Swear
it's
as
about.
much
It's
as
the
possible.
raw, it's the real, like, this is the behind the scenes stuff, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's just not what matters. What matters is that we rethink the way we interact, and I didn't mispronounce that. I said inter-react, because the way we interact and the way we react to others is being disrupted by this blockchain and this whole Bitcoin space. Like, it's not just it's not just money. It's not just a form of exchange. It's so much more, and we don't even, like, we won't know what this world looks like 10 years from now. No one can even predict it right now.
That's what makes it so exciting, eh?
For sure.
So exciting. But here's a kind of, I guess, not political one, but like a reference from someone else. You ever heard of Gary Vaynerchuk?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, he referenced a couple of weeks ago that cryptocurrency has the power to overthrow very powerful, say, organizations or people. Or what's your take on that?
I couldn't agree more. I think that this year is probably 2018 is probably going to mark the year of war on crypto. Banks, regulators, all sorts of large organizations that don't know how to behave because they're so heavily regulated, they can't innovate as fast as this technology. So there's people innovating faster than they can regulate, and that scares the shit out of them. So we'll see overreactions and all sorts of stuff. However, I think that the smart organizations in the world will disrupt themselves, and they will, rather than fight it, they'll innovate alongside the innovators. Like the banks, like for example, Deutsche Bank and HSBC, they've created Ripple. They're innovating alongside of it. Yeah. Whereas other banks have closed down people's bank accounts when they interact with the blockchain. Even here in Australia, a couple of big banks have done it, and it's not only a super douchey move that's probably a criminal act if it was proven true in a court. But alongside that, it's just stupid. They're gonna. It's like this. Imagine when the horse and cart was disrupted by the automobile industry.
Yeah.
It's like saying this is never going to change anything. It's never going to do anything. Like this cryptocurrency thing's a fad. It's not. It's real.
Yeah. 100%.
And if you dig your heels in and try and do the best horse and cart business in the world, you're probably going to be hurt throughout this process. And you have to reconstruct the way you look at this thing. So we've seen this time and time again. Like we saw Blockbuster get Netflix offered Blockbuster to buy them out for a relatively small sum of money in what Blockbuster had in the bank. And Blockbuster said no, the internet will never scale to be able to take that on board. And then Blockbuster went bankrupt, and now Netflix is the billion-dollar empire. Like, you can't dig your heels in and say this isn't going to change anything. It is changing things.
Yeah.
Like it's
and a rapid rate.
Ridiculous rate.
Yeah.
Ridiculous rate.
100%.
You know, we often forget that, you know, in 2018, you know, the iPad and Airbnb and Uber and stuff haven't even been around for 10 years yet.
Yeah. No.
We forget that.
100%.
And we can't do 5 minutes without those things.
Yeah. 100%. Like, and I was having a discussion with a guy the other day about like how when the iPad came out and Facebook came out, because we forget that it's came out, we just always thought it's always been like that. You know what I mean? No one remembers like what it was like when it first came out, how revolutionary. The internet. You know what I mean? Like I relate to because I've only learned this say a month ago. My kind of reference to what this is like what it was like when the internet first came out. When people said like. The internet is just another communication device. Like it's not going to take off. That's bullshit. You know?
Yeah,
but,
totally.
You know, and
I mean, I remember people thinking that email would never take off. You know, like that. You know, snail mail will never die. Now now snail mail is ridiculously expensive, and you know the volume's much less.
Yeah,
you know,
definitely, yeah.
It's still not dead, but you know, and horse and carts still exist.
Yeah.
But they're a lot less. Pertinent. There are a lot less, you know, there's way less of them out there in the world.
Yeah, 100%.
I think, look, I mean, for someone just starting their journey in this space, for someone starting down this pathway, you've got to remember that you are learning a new technology, and new technologies I've heard so many stories. I've had so many people come to me and go, I bought some Bitcoin years ago, but I sold it because I didn't think it was going to take off or whatever the thing is, and they got frustrated with the process. This process of cryptocurrencies, if you give up on it, you kind of are going to miss one of the biggest boats that we see. You know, like they're literally like I love what Andreas Antonopoulos says about this. He says that when he's asked how many coins he thinks there will be one day, because Bitcoin is not the only cryptocurrency.
Of course, yeah.
He thinks there'll be hundreds of thousands, like maybe even millions, like the number of blocks there are in the world, because money has gone from a system of control that the government uses, or the regulators, or the banks, or the wealthy use to control others and enslave them by doing things called loans, which is not loans. You're giving someone a set of handcuffs and saying to them, "Here, be indebted to me for 25 years." That's not helping them. That was hardcore.
We'll just take a moment there.
But my point is that this is the ability for us as humanity to express ourselves. Like, there's nothing wrong. Well, I mean, there's probably plenty of things wrong with all currencies, but like the Australian dollar, for example, inherently there's kind of nothing wrong with the physical dollar itself. You know, if we've got a $10 note. But if I spend Australian dollars, that's me saying that I believe that this is valuable. But what we'll see in the future is people will spend the currency that they believe in. So they'll spend currencies like Earthcoin, for example, if they believe in, I don't know, something like planting trees, right? They might spend Family Coin if they care about kids and stuff like that. So people will start to use their currency as a way to express themselves. Like, we've got some crazy shit coming. Like, it's just, the world as we know it will never be the same again. This thing will get the traction. In the last year, we've had like 350,000 people signing up for wallets per day across all the major Bitcoin wallets. Like,
so when you sorry, I'll stop you. Just go a little bit deep with the wallet there. What do you mean by wallets?
well, just the way in which they access the ledger.
Okay,
So
yeah.
a wallet, it's not actually a wallet because again, you don't have coins. But what a wallet is it's two sets of keys: a public key and a private key
Yeah.
that allow you to control your Bitcoin on the blockchain or on that ledger. So essentially, people will. I kind of lost my train of thought.
Sorry about that.
No, that's okay. I'm just no, it's all good.
Yeah.
I'm just
So with their wallets, they
Yeah.
can
yeah, that's all right. Ask me another question because I'll riff on something else. Actually,
No, that's
I
cool.
remember where I
No,
was
that's,
going with it.
that's all right. It's all good. Well, pretty much for anyone that's like starting out and they're like, yeah, this is really cool. This is something I want to do. Where can they like buy like a coin or where like to invest or like all that kind of stuff? Like,
There's so many parts to this ecosystem. You're going to go on a learning journey. I would say, there's a bunch of resources online to help you with this. Obviously, you guys will have stuff on your website as well.
Of course,
There's just so many resources. What I would say is when you get into this space is if you're going to put in, an arbitrary amount of money, but let's say you're going to put 50 grand into cryptocurrencies in total, I would say don't put it all in straight away. Learn and be safe and manage safe practices, and don't put all of your wealth in there. Put a small percentage and behave like a responsible adult. Or child. A child can have a wallet, one of these wallets.
Yeah.
It's totally normal and legal. You can own one of them anywhere in the world. You can own one anywhere in the world. It's a nationless, privateless, borderless bank that people can access. And literally, like anyone can do it. So you're going to have to get a wallet set up. You're going to have to participate with an exchange to get money in. And all of these steps are things you're going to need to understand. So wallets is one piece, exchanges is another piece. And then you've got to look at which cryptocurrency you're going to buy. Most people buy Bitcoin first, and I'd recommend this is probably a good thing to do just because that road is really well laid and people sell Bitcoin in a number of different ways. There's all sorts of exchanges. Some people even sell Bitcoin themselves as human beings. But there's a million different ways. There's Bitcoin ATMs. You can go put money in and get Bitcoin, sent to your phone or your smart device while you're standing there. So I would, you get a wallet on your phone. You can download one called Jax, or Bread is another good one. Bread only does Bitcoin. Jax does a number of currencies. Or you put one on your computer called Exodus or Jax. They're good ones to start with.
Yeah, I've just started with Exodus as well on the computer.
Yeah.
And of course today with Jax.
Yeah. Jax is just handy on the phone.
Yeah.
It's like the Exodus for phone, and Exodus don't have a phone app. Otherwise, that would be a great resource. It's just, you just got to get started. And there's so many people into it right now. Like, this adoption curve's happening. So, that's where I was at. There was, in the last 7 years, there was 3.5 million wallets downloaded.
Yeah.
And then in the last sort of 6 months, there's been as much as 350,000 wallets a day downloaded.
Shit.
So the exponential rate at which people are adopting Bitcoin right now is off the charts. And most people look at it through the lens of assessing it through a financial industry lens and would say that it's in a bubble right now. But when you look at it through a different lens, which is the lens of a tech startup, it's far from in a bubble. It's following and tracking alongside a law called Metcalfe's law, which means that the value of a tech startup, or in this case Bitcoin, increases alongside the rate of user adoption. So we've seen this exponential explosion of people downloading the wallet, but Bitcoin's price has been rising at a similar rate to the wallet downloads, which means we're following Metcalfe's law.
Yeah.
It's not the same as financial markets. So old world financial people will describe this market differently. But if you go to the tech startup, you go to the tech startups of the world and you ask the tech geniuses of the world, they'll point to you things like Moore's law and Metcalfe's law, and they'll show you how to relate to this because it is a different beast. It is a very different beast. But it's going to disrupt the old beast. It's
sure.
changing the guard for sure.
From the research I've done, that's just it's crazy. You go down the rabbit hole of it all, but it's a new world, really.
Yeah.
It's a new world. It's crazy.
But,
thanks so much, Roscoe. It's been a pleasure,
Super
man.
welcome, brother. Yeah.
Such an inspiration. I hope you guys learned something. I freaking learned something for sure. I'm going to continue going down this say, rabbit hole of learning cryptocurrency, where to invest, going a little like deeper with what wallets to use or what coins to invest in, how to choose the coins that you want to invest in. But yeah, thanks so much, man.
Yeah, super welcome. And everyone, just like don't necessarily listen to everyone all the time about this stuff. You're going to have people that are going to believe in it and people who aren't. And if you want to learn from people in this space, a healthy amount of skepticism is important. But when that skepticism stalls your progress as a human being and as someone to progress in this reality, then it's not your friend. So use your skepticism to analyze this space better and understand it more, but don't let it stop you. Like, go for it. This is a real opportunity. This is a real wave of technology.
This view is incredible, man.
Much as I don't like Sydney, it's got some freaking beautiful parts, man. Beautiful parts.
Yo, just about to have an interview with Zane Jerry. I'm super excited. He did a sick talk in the seminar just then, and I'm just so pumped to ask him a few questions.
And you just got to find someone that can just explain it simply.
That's exactly right.
And also find like a hand holding.
Yeah, definitely. Why are you so passionate and the people around so passionate about cryptocurrency?
For my reason is literally just what it represents for us, humanity. Like, cryptos, like Bitcoin is just like, obviously it's just like the first application on the blockchain, but all the other things that are coming out and all the other ideas that are getting created from like this just one present that was just gifted to the world, like Power Ledger, for example, like decentralized peer-to-peer sustainable energy, like that, to me that's just epic. Like that's
100%,
like Bitcoin, making money, trading, like all of that stuff is cool, but it's not as important as like what can we do for this world. So
100%.
for me it's like the humanity, it's like, and it's most importantly it's the sovereignty. Like I see cryptocurrencies as the biggest chance for us to actually grab our sovereignty back.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, like
100%, and from like what I've been learning for the past say month, like I'm all about that, man. Like it's changing the world, like as it is, man. It's sick.
Yeah.
Where do you think crypto will be in the future? I know, like you said, it's world changing, but like, can you dive into anything just specific that you think is
how
going
far future are we talking?
Let's say a year. Let's say.
Oh, a year? A year's not far enough. Let's go 5.
Okay, five, sure.
Yeah, let's go 5 years. So, like, crypto in 5 years, like, I don't see. Some people have the opinion that, like, Bitcoin and crypto, it's going to be like overtake money, and then there's not going to be any money. I don't have that opinion. I think it's going to be both. There's definitely going to still be bank money, and there's going to be cryptos. But as far as like the technology advancements, like, I mean, I can't even begin to imagine like what, like there's, look, right now as we chat, there's probably some 16-year-old kid that's just learning about blockchain right now, and by the time in 5 years, you know, like, what's that, he'll be 21, and like he could have just created like this awesome protocol that, like, look at like Vitalik Buterin, like the creator of one of the founders of Ethereum. Like I think he was 19 or something when they created that, maybe even younger. Like, yeah, so I mean, money wise, I think there'll definitely be both, like fiat and cryptos. Myself, I'd be looking to get like just solely owning and spending in cryptos. Because that's where I see the future long term.
Yeah. Even if like, you know, the investment side of it, like, to make that money, it wasn't there, it's still going to change the world for what it has.
Yeah, but I mean, vice versa, like the flip side of that, I think like the fact that blockchain was brought to us by Bitcoin, like Bitcoin was the first pressure point, like that's a really important pressure point for anyone across the world. Like, you know, I think that was the way to make it like just to grab attention and actually grab people into it.
Yeah,
because they're like, oh, there's money. Like, so there's that first aspect to it on the flip side of it. But then when they start learning about it, they're like, okay, they look past the money and they're like, oh wow, like, whoa, like look at what we can create.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Well, that makes sense. As I'm going to be on this journey for like a while. That's what we're documenting this. You know what I mean? So it's kind of a moment right there. It's kind of like, you know, now I need to learn like what blockchain really was and is, and like, you know, how Bitcoin like showed that to people, and that's just so interesting, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Like one of the like most not profound, for lack of a better term, profound like moments I had. I was watching this TED talk. He's a Zimbabwean guy, and like he was into Bitcoin quite early, but I think he's like computer tech background, and he literally like he works for these schools in South Africa now, and these schools, they don't actually get funding, like they literally don't get funding for electricity. Sometimes they don't have lights, fans, all that shit, and this guy literally created a Bitcoin wallet and linked it into like the meter board, and anyone, like, you put the wallet address online and anyone can literally just send Bitcoin to this wallet and it instantly pays for power.
Holy shit.
Like, to me that was exactly, holy shit, that was like I was like, fuck, like this thing can seriously, like, it can change everything. Like, as simple as setting up a wallet to like I don't know the technical terms, but setting up a wallet to the meter board so we can all just like power a school. Like, imagine that on a greater scale. Like,
that's another pin drop moment there.
Yeah.
Legit, that's
you're gonna have so many of them, bro. See, that's what gets me so excited, because you look past the money. It's awesome. Like, but like, why do you want to have this money? Like, why do you want to find financial freedom? Why do you want to get this wealth? It's so you can create epic shit.
100%.
You know, like it's the same thing. Like, money is just like a magnifying glass. Cryptos is the same thing. Like, the more you get, the more it'll magnify who you are. You know, if you're a bit of a wilted, like, sourpuss, then
100%.
But if you've got greatness in you, like, fuck, you'll touch the world.
Zane, it's been a pleasure, man. Thanks. Some life-changing stuff from you from that conversation, man.
Oh, awesome.
Thank you so much for today. That's the end of the weekend. I've learned so much at breaking into Bitcoin. Fuck. Heading home now, ready to download all this content, compressor, whatever you want to call it. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys learned something. Leave a question in the comments below. Go to our social medias, DM us, whatever you want to know, whatever you want to learn. Be on the journey with us, because this is a journey to become financially free. That's if you want to. You make that decision for yourself. We'll see you in a little while, eh?